There's some earth-shattering reveals about Hollywood coming out in a new tell-all book, Burn It Down. And one of the things in the book that's discussed is the downfall of the Disney Plus show, specifically about Marvel and Star Wars. And we absolutely have to talk about this, guys, because it confirms some of our worst fears when it comes to the MCU Disney Plus show. This is crazy. This is bad, but I don't want to just be all doom and gloom about this. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. So at the end of this video, I want to explain that although this definitely did happen and it sucks, I actually think things are going to get much better from here. Smash a freaking like on this video and let's begin. Okay, so this is all coming out from a new book called Burn It Down, and this is from Maureen Ryan. Maureen Ryan has written for the Hollywood Trades. She's a longtime Hollywood insider, and this book is really a big expose about how messed up Hollywood productions are to this day. And despite a lot of efforts to clean up Hollywood and a lot of efforts to clean up the image of Hollywood, you still have a ton of messed up stuff happening behind the scenes with power dynamics, you know, bad stuff. Maybe you've seen the reports about some of the things that went on during the writing of The Lost show with Damon Lindelof. Some articles popping up about crazy stuff going on with the Star Wars Disney Plus shows. Basically, Hollywood still sucks, and despite a lot of these companies acting very progressive in front of their audience, behind the scenes, there's all kinds of weird power dynamic stuff going on. It's just a lot of bad stuff and a lot of everyday people getting stepped on by powerful Hollywood people. Now, having said that, that's not exactly what's happening with Marvel Studios. That's not a big focus of that part of the book. But Marvel Studios is also not presented as the good guys in this story. And the stuff about Marvel Studios and the Disney Plus shows really serves to show where it all went wrong. Now, first up, it's mentioned in the book that many different high-level TV showrunners or writers have had meetings with Marvel, but almost all of them have rejected offers to come join Marvel Television, or I guess Disney Plus. And this is because of the way that Marvel Studios is creating these shows. Many of you probably already know this. We talked about this when it was sort of first announced, I think back in 2019 or 2020, but Marvel Studios does not actually have showrunners. They instead have a head writer, which is something like a showrunner, but the truth is it's a very different role, and the person that is the head writer has very little actual control over production. And a big focus of this part of the book is talking about these executive producers who are put in charge of these shows. And these producers are literally in the writer's room and also overseeing the production of everything, including rewrites on the show, which usually are not run by the team that actually wrote the episodes. Like, they'll literally hire a head writer and maybe a writer's room, and they'll knock out those episodes, and then those people are literally done working at Marvel and definitely done working on that project by the time you get on set. And then it's up to the producer and the people that are directing to do the rewriting in the moment. And because Marvel's constantly changing and they're reworking stuff, not only for quality control, but also to have it fit into this big, wide canon, the people that in a normal show would be overseeing how all of this flowed together, they're not even involved in that process. And it's implied in the book that a lot of the decisions that are made by the executives to change the shows are for the sake of canon or for the sake of the brand, and they're not ultimately made for the sake of the story or for the quality of the show. She really nails down on how the people that are in charge of the show lack television experience, and there's also just way too much to juggle. And it's made clear that this is a problem that was created because of the crazy scaling up of the Marvel content. Marvel used to just do 2 movies a year, 3 movies a year. Maybe there would be an odd year with 4 films, but in the early days of Disney Plus and Phase 4, Marvel was doing between 7 to 11 projects a year. And one of the key differences was the involvement of Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige, who had been a producer for almost 20 years and has all this amazing experience, like he would be the problem solver and go around to the different movies and help to solve the problems on the individual project. But with the scaling up, this was delegated to other executive producers at Marvel. Now, the real main executive producers at Marvel are Nate Moore, Louis D'Esposito, and Victoria Alonso, or at least Victoria Alonso was one of these people. And so essentially it is said in the book that this was why you get this crazy uneven quality in the shows and in the things that were coming out in Phase 4. And consider some of the other things we've heard recently with the America Chavez actress talking about how Michael Waldron had to do 33 drafts for the Multiverse of Madness. Elizabeth Olsen recently said in an interview that she stopped reading the script for Multiverse of Madness because they were changing it so much. Now, Marvel Studios has always done this. They've always made a lot of changes to their films. It's a part of their process since Iron Man 1. But I think the difference, the main thing that changed with Disney Plus was the scale and the ability for Kevin Feige to actually oversee all of this stuff. And although this isn't explicitly spelled out in the book, it really makes me think this is a big reason as to why Victoria Alonso was let go. Given all the information that we now have, it seems to me that there were a lot of Disney Plus projects that Victoria Alonso was directly overseeing, actually being the showrunner of different shows. And you couple that with the fact that she oversaw a lot of the digital effects for Marvel Studios, and it's just too much work. And also, if we're to believe the stories of her being horrible to work with and very looming and power hungry and political, which all of that information came out during her firing. Like a lot of people in the visual effects community came forward and says, yeah, Victoria Alonso sucked. She would king make, and if you crossed her, your whole company wouldn't get work anymore. Like really crazy, like Hollywood power moves. And if she's doing that with the visual effects, she's probably doing that as she's running these shows as well. And that leads to the lack of quality that we got during Marvel's Phase 4 and just with the Disney Plus shows in general. And I think that's why you haven't seen a Disney Plus show since She-Hulk. I think that's why Kevin Feige did not reportedly try to stop the firing of Victoria Alonso at all. I think that's probably why you see Marvel Studios delaying all of their shows so that Kevin Feige can actually oversee all of this stuff. And by turning that faucet down, by lessening the frequency of content releases, they're going to allow Kevin Feige to be much more hands-on with every single project. And that's just obviously take the content up to a higher level. Now, I do think it would be cool if Marvel Studios could find some really great television talent and work them into the Marvel system and allow like true creative people to take on shows and do their thing. But there also are examples of incredible Marvel shows that were made with this formula in mind. Loki season 1 comes to mind, and most of WandaVision is also very good. Secret Invasion looks to be pretty awesome as well, and maybe it just is the case that the Marvel formula can absolutely work in television. They just need to scale down the output, allow Feige to have more control over every single thing, and maybe get some people like Victoria Alonso, who seem to be pretty toxic, out of that environment. So like I said, this confirms some of our worst fears that basically they just had way too much going on and Kevin Feige wasn't really doing Kevin Feige stuff on all these projects. Maybe the Marvel formula only really works when you have a singular creative vision, and that's what you have when Feige's pretty much doing it all. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. Smash a like on this video, and if you have any questions about this or anything else that's going on in the nerdy world, come on by our live streams. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we're always breaking down the latest things going on in the nerdy world. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.